was fun. Yeah, I'm tired now. For those of you listening to the podcast, you're probably wondering, like, what the heck is going on? I was just dancing a little bit, you know. Yeah, good stuff. Anywho. Hello everybody, my name is Sarkis Bakalyan, and I'm your host for the Armenians podcast. And today we're going to be talking about stuff. What kind of stuff? Well, you'll find out. First off, I want to correct some information from the last podcast. I may have mentioned some things that were incorrect, and I do want to clarify that. So I do apologize for my mistakes. I'm only human, okay? I'm only human. On the last podcast, I mentioned that there was a mountain called Mount Ararat, and it was coupled by another mountain called Masis, which was the smaller one, right? That's what I said. Well, apparently it's two dormant volcanoes that form Mount Ararat. And so the big one is called Masis, the small one is called Sis. I did want to clarify that, and they are dormant volcanoes. Anywho, that's the first piece of information that I wanted to correct. The second piece of information I wanted to correct was Steve Jobs is not Armenian. I thought he was, or at least part Armenian. On the last podcast, I mentioned that he may have been part Armenian. He was adopted, and his adoptive mother, however, was Armenian. So there's the connection. Hey, not as cool, but still cool. Anyway, on today's podcast, I wanted to talk about influential music artists in the Armenian community. Who are they? What did they do? How did they end up being involved in music? Well, let's find out. So the first music artist I wanted to talk about was Aram Asatryan. He was born March 3rd, 1953 in Echmiadzin, the town where the church from the last podcast is. And that's the first church built in the world. If you want to know more about that, check out the last podcast. But ever since he was a child, he wanted to be involved with music. And in 1985, he formed his own band and had been performing ever since. And he went on to do world tours. He wrote over 500 songs, and he performed some amazing classics. Unfortunately, he did pass away at the age of 53, November 7th, 2006, due to a heart attack. Now, he did not have any prior heart conditions whatsoever. He was very healthy, and one conspiracy theory is that he was actually poisoned. I think he was at a baptism, and apparently somebody slipped some poison into his alcohol that he was drinking. Again, that's conspiracy theory. Some of his classics include Hayestu, meaning you are Armenian. So here we are. Hayestu, Hayem yes, Hayestu, Hayem yes, Vakhotsev tanem yes, Hayestu, Hayem yes, Du Hayes, yes Hayem, Vakhotsev tanem yes. Oh, that's a classic. I'll never forget that song. That one is about Saint Sarkis. I feel included somehow. Get it? Because my name is Sarkis. On to the next person. The next person is Ruben Hakhverdian. Born 1950, very popular poet, singer, and performing artist. He attended Yerevant's Theater Institute from 1969 to 1974, and he graduated with a degree in theater and television direction. And from 1968 to 1989, he worked at the Armenian State Television Network as an assistant director and moved his way up to director. He also did internships at a Moscow theater, and he put on stage plays. And after he left the television network in 1989, he started working as a free artist. And after that, he went on to become a very popular children's songwriter and performance artist. This is one of my favorite songs by him. It's called Astrazart Nakar, meaning a star-decorated picture. And it's from the cartoon called Gitnavat Yeraz, meaning the found dream. It's really good. Artnացան շշուկները անուշ Եվ լուսինը դեմքի վրայով Մեղմ սահեց ժպիտով իր քնքուշ Oh, so good. And this one is called The Autumn of Our Love. Mersiro Ashuna. Mersiro Ashuna. I'm not crying. And he is currently 69 years old. Next up, we're going to be talking about Rosie Armen. She was born May 1st, 1939 in Paris, France. She's a bilingual singer, I guess you can call her. She sang both in French and in Armenian. Her full name at first was Rosie Hovanesyan, but later changed to Rosie Pedrosyan, and her stage name, Rosie Armen. Her parents were against the idea of having a singing career, but she went on to do it anyway, because that's what she loved. She started off her career by singing along some famous French singers in France, and then went on to perform all over Europe, and then the world, so she became an icon. And after the 1988 earthquake in Armenia, the Spitak earthquake, Charles Aznavour, who was another famous French Armenian singer, invited Rosie Armen alongside a bunch of other famous French singers to sing in regards to the Armenian earthquake.
Tes printemps fleuriront encore.
That was Charles Aznavour at the end. Here's a song that she sang in Armenian. It's called Hingala. That one was called Et Pecader. My French is excellent. And she is currently 80 years old. Oh, good stuff, good stuff. Moving on. Next, the music artist we're going to be talking about is Artashes Avetyan, born August 14, 1942 in Tehran, Iran. And he is considered by most to be the Armenian Frank Sinatra. And I'll show you the reason why, because I really like this guy's style. This song is one of my favorites by him. It's called Carousel, which is, you know, carousel. Oh, so good. I love that song so much. This one is called Of Sirun Sirun. This is probably his most famous song. And this is a video from 2011 of him singing and playing the piano. And it just goes to show you how he still got it. This guy's voice it seems like he hasn't aged a bit. And you'll see what I mean. Check it out. And he is currently 77 years old. Next person! So far, I've only talked about singers, but now I'm going to talk about this guy who is a professional musical instrument player, and that musical instrument that he's really good at is the duduk. Remember the musical instrument that I mentioned in the last podcast. It's a musical instrument that's from Armenia. This guy's name is Jivan Gasparyan, born October 12, 1928. He is currently 91 years old. This guy is a legitimate master at his craft. No one can play like him. This guy is a legend in playing the duduk. He's such a legend that he has played for people like Hans Zimmer. Hans Zimmer, the composer that you see in like big blockbuster movies. He's composed for movies like Gladiator, The Dark Knight, The Lion King, big, huge movies. And he's also been a professor at the Yerevan State Musical Conservatory. On top of that, he has won 4 medals at UNESCO worldwide competitions. UNESCO, if you don't know, is the United Nations Educational, Scientific, Cultural Organization. I remembered because I'm a good boy. And this is the score from Gladiator, one of my favorite movies of all time. Jivan Gasparyan working with Hans Zimmer in this amazing composition. So check it out. And here's him in action from a concert in 2011. He had been on stage for 65 years at that point. He is currently 91 years old. Additionally, I'd like to mention this guy. His name is Paul Baghdadlian. He was born July 10th, 1953 in Aleppo, Syria. Unfortunately, he passed away at the age of 58 in 2011 due to lung cancer. During the 1970s, he would only perform English songs, but after listening to Harut Pampukjian and seeing his success in the diaspora, he started to sing songs in Armenian. And then he moved to Los Angeles in 1977, and that's where he started his international career. Now, this is one of his hit classics. It's called Dui Mashkharnes, meaning You Are My World. And this is my favorite song by him. It's called Yerazis Mech, meaning In My Dream.
Երազիս մեջ կանգնած էիր իմ դանդիված Երկում էիր սրտիդ երկը վաղուց բահված Երազիս մեջ կանգնած էիր իմ դանդիված Երկում էիր սրտիդ երկը վաղուց բահված Ետ որ դարձա անուշ մի ձերք շոյում էր ինձ Հավատից էլ կանան բարդեր բերում էր ինձ
So that was my list of influential music artists in the Armenian community. What do you think? Go ahead and let us know, alright? Because I want to know what you think. Did I miss anybody? I'm sure I missed a few. I didn't mention Armenchik, Tata Simonian, Flora Martirosyan. I didn't talk about Charles Aznavour because we had a whole episode devoted to him on the podcast before. Now moving on to good news in the world of Armenians. There's a story about a rising basketball star. His name is Gary Chivicyan. He's trying to be the first Armenian NBA player, which is awesome. He's currently playing for the University of Pacific Tigers basketball team. Check it out.
Got to shoot it to tie it.
Oh! What?
this game to triple overtime. It was looking pretty desperate right here.
It absolutely was. The play was designed
Wow.
for him, though.
He bank shot a 3 and he sent it to third overtime. That's crazy. Yeah, that was a buzzer beater right there. That was pretty awesome. Now, there's this picture going around on Facebook of some supplies being sent to Armenia from China. And on the supplies, it's written, "May our friendship be higher than Mountain Ararat and longer than Yangtze River." We all know what Mount Ararat is, but Yangtze River is the longest river in Asia. And it also resides in China. That's pretty nice. That's nice. That's so cool. I love that. Now, moving on to the next story. There's this video going around on Facebook of this kid named Edmonia. She's an Armenian girl living in France. I believe she won second place in France's The Voice Kids Edition. And when I heard this, I got chills. So check this out.
I must have always known that this would be inevitable. To earn my stripes, I'd have to pay and bear my soul.
She's singing on her balcony in France. I forgot to mention that part. And everybody is in awe, of course.
I know I'm not the only one who regrets the things they've done. Sometimes I just feel it's only me who can stand the reflection that they see. I wish I could live a little more. Look up to the sky, not just the floor. I feel like my heart is flashing by, and all I can do is watch and cry. I miss the air, I miss my friends, I miss my mother, I miss it when life was a party to be thrown, but that was a million years ago.
Damn. That, I got chills listening to that. That was really good. Oh my goodness. I got goosebumps. Like, good job, Edmonia. And on another note, the European Union will provide an overall amount of 92 million euros to Armenia. It was previously 51 million euros, but they upped it to 92 million, which is crazy awesome. So thank you, European Union, for helping out my home country. And if you have any stories that you want to share with us, good stories, heartwarming stories, go to @4D_legacy. That's the number 4, the letter D_legacy on Twitter and Instagram. Or if you want to email us, that's another option. You can go to info@4dlegacycontent.com. And on today's fun view of the day, there's this Swedish guy who happens to be almost flawlessly singing in Armenian. It's fun times. Check it out.
Opa!
Opa!
Nu, snart. Jag kommer snart, jag lovar dig. Օկյանքի մարտիկ օդաժան աշխար Ինչու ես լեցեցիք աշխարից աշխար Հիմա ես մոլորված միայնամ Տաշնիտես քանի տարի ման գամ որոնելով քեզ Օկյանքում մարտիկ օդաժան աշխար Ինչու ես լեցեցիք աշխարից աշխար Հիմա ես մոլորված միայնամ Տաշնիտես քանի տարի ման գամ որոնելով քեզ Կյանքում եմ քեզ չի փոխես, սիրուն կյանքում քեզ Դու խուրդը դու ման գամ որոնելով քեզ Չի փոխես, սիրուն կյանքում քեզ Այժմ պետք է սիրեմ քեզ
Oh, yes. Yes. That was awesome. Good job, Swedish dude. Yeah. Swedish people are awesome. I mean, look at PewDiePie. And on today's Learn of the Day, I'm going to be teaching you how to say good night in Armenian. It's barigishir. How do you spell that? In English letters, it's B-A-R-I-G-I-S-H-I-R. I space Gisher. Body Gisher. And this is how you spell it in Armenian. So we have B A R I space G I Sh E R. Body Gisher, meaning good night. And here's an example of how you would use that on a daily basis. Ինչ այլը կստված։
Աղեթը, բապ չեմ կարող քնել։
Ինչի։
Մեջքս ցավում է։
Ինչի։
Տեղերը ջարդել եմ։
Ոնց կարա պատահի, նոր ենք առել։
Բապ, բայց նոր չի, 5 տարի է արդեն։
Արա դե լավ էլի։ Բարի գիշեր։
Բապ։
All right. Well, there you have it. I want to thank 4D Legacy, a media company based in San Francisco. They've been great working with me to produce these shows. And they actually have a new movie coming out titled Pride Jewel that's slated to be in select theaters in November. But we'll talk about that in a later episode. You could check out a teaser reel of that movie on their website at www.4dlegacystudios.com. That's the number 4, letter D, legacystudios.com. They also work with a lot of filmmakers and writers. So if you have a project and may need assistance, feel free to get in touch with them at info@4dlegacycontent.com. I want to thank Armen Dilansyan, our executive producer, Aya Haja, our marketing director, and Daryl Good of Chrome 7 and original host of Armenians podcast based out of New York. Most importantly, we want to thank you, our wonderful audience, for taking the time to listen to us. We hope you'll subscribe to our channel and share the episode with friends and family. You can also subscribe to Armenians podcast as mentioned on YouTube channel or on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and Stitcher platforms. Words cannot describe how much we appreciate it. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at 4D_legacy. That's the number 4, letter D_legacy. Make sure to send us your feedback by emailing info@4dlegacycontent.com. Subscribe to the Armenians podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. I have been your host, Sarkis Bakalyan, and this has been Armenians podcast. Until next time, peaces!